Once your car is covered in lines, then we need a messy mat. Your car will fit on it diagonally if you have a small mat. If you have a big mat, it will fit on horizontally. So mine goes diagonally. And I have my watercolors and a cup of water that we are sharing at your table. Now, the reason we used crayon is made of wax, and wax resists watercolor. That means the watercolor will not stick to the crayon unless your crayons were washable. If your crayons were washable, then there might be some sticking involved. That's the downside to washable crayons. And when we paint these, you get to decide how you're going to do it. So, for example, my orange zigzags here, they make up nice little shapes. So I could paint inside each of these shapes. Over here on my spirals, the spirals don't make a closed shape. So I'd want to pick a color and just paint over all of those. Here, let me show you how that is done. So I have all these beautiful green spirals. I'm going to take some blue, make a little puddle in my paint. So that's how watercolor works. You have to make a puddle, and then you paint strokes. Look at that. It is not sticking to my spirals. Get the brush wet again. Stir, paint. Every time you need more paint, you go to the water first. So it's water, paint, paper. And your paint should always look nice and wet. It should never look all scratchy. If it starts to look scratchy, it means your brush is thirsty and it needs a drink. Water, paint, paper. And if something's too dark, we can fix that with more water. Or if you have a puddle that accidentally forms on your page, we can fix that too. If I take my brush and clean it and pinch it dry, I can use it like the world's smallest mop. And I can mop up some of that stuff that I didn't want on my page. Just make sure you give it lots and lots of drinks. Also, this is really wet right now. I don't want to paint this next because this is really wet. And if I paint this, these colors are going to end up running together and making a big mess. So I'm going to skip around. So I painted my door so I can skip around and go over to the back part of my car. And I could paint inside these stripes, or I could paint right over them. It all depends on your level of patience, how much you think you can handle. So water, stir it in my paint. And I think on these, I will paint inside the lines. And more water, paint, paper. And just like before, these are wet. If I'm making this a different color, I don't want to paint it right now. I want to let it dry. Or if something's too dark, dry my brush and go back and fix it. And please make sure that if you are painting a large area, like my zigzag section, your brush should always be dancing on its toes and not smash down so the metal is touching. This metal part should never touch your paper because it will scratch it and leave permanent marks. And it doesn't look very nice. So make sure it's just the hair of the brush is touching the page. And as long as you keep it wet, so water, paint, paper, as long as you keep it wet, your brush will be very, very happy, and it won't take very long to paint your car.